Hey guys, and welcome back to Brexit. Brexit England, Northern Ireland, and Eastern Europe. And in Brexit England, pictures have emerged of Boris Johnson partying hard like it's 1999. In fact, right, these pictures show Boris Johnson to be an absolute lying Pinocchio, right? Lying his ass off, right? This man is a liability. He cannot lie straight in bed. He has liabetes. He's liar, liar. His pants are blazing. Right? Because he was up in Parliament, lying about this very party, right? And these are the pictures that he never wanted people to see. Strange how how it all come out, right? And these pictures never come out at the time. Because people are saying, oh, well, these pictures come out, it would have been completely devastating for him. But those very same people are trying to make excuses for him. Saying, oh, well, look, there's a red briefcase there. There's a red briefcase. And that briefcase proves that Boris Johnson was working. Really? Boris Johnson looked like he was lashed, right? He looked like, he looked like he come home, right, from a very heavy night of drinking. That's how Boris Johnson looked in those pictures, right? But he's up in there. And remember his words. He said, "No parties happened, and any parties that happened." Right, was all within the rules, and everything in those pictures suggests that was nothing to do with the rules at all, right? Because while all the hospital staff here was drenched in PPE, drenched, some of them in fact wearing refuge sacks, right? Because they couldn't get hold of PPE. But all the hospital staff, right, was head to toe in PPE for 14, 15 hours a day, right? And these guys up in Downing Street, right, with a table full of alcohol and snacks. These guys are just like partying hard, and these pictures have emerged, right, and they prove that Boris Johnson, right, is today's, yesterday's, last week's, last year's, and the future biggest liar in the world, right? Because you lied to the House of Parliament. You told the House of Parliament lies. You went in there and you misled. Right? You misled them by a mile, right? Not just by a couple of roads. He misled them by a whole mile. So we've got to go back a mile now because we missed our road by a mile. Yeah, that's what Boris Johnson. Wow. And also, welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all your messages sent me. And a special thanks here to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that have signed up. So thank you so much for that. I'll go through all your messages. I'll answer as many as I can. But I will like all your messages for definite. So today we're going to start in America, and we're going to start with like the car crash of a marriage between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, right? And I tell you, yeah, you just every person in the world must be thinking to themselves, oh God, I'm glad I wasn't in that marriage, because that marriage, yeah, was just, it was off kilter. It was like, off center. It was like, it was like to the side. I mean, these people are some crazy motherfuckers. I'll tell you that, right? But very strangely, right, what I would tell you, right, is Johnny Depp is not an abuser. There's just absolutely no. And I know you're saying, well, yeah, because he's one of your favourite actors. Yeah, he's a brilliant actor. Like Captain Jack from Pirates of the Caribbean. Edward Scissorhands, he was absolutely fantastic. Do you know what I mean? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. A lot of people knock Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I thought he'd done it proud. I saw Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder was like, I didn't like it. Probably only because they didn't ask him to be in it. But he didn't like it. But he was like the original like Mr. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah. So I should say the original Willy Wonka. So he was fantastic. Gene Wilder was just absolute class in it. He was just absolutely brilliant. But I think Johnny Depp done the part. Done a real justice when he played it. Right. But anyway, right. Going back, as I said, I don't believe that Johnny Depp is an abuser because there's been recordings. Right. So obviously Johnny Depp has been recording like the abuse that he suffered. And let me tell you, right, this man suffered abuse, right? You know, this woman cut off one of his fingers, right? She threw bottles at him, right? And a man who's abusing a woman, yeah, the woman doesn't get a chance to throw a bottle at him, right? He would murder her on that day. A woman who cuts off a woman who cuts off a man's finger who's abusing her, right? He would murder her on that day, right? A woman who's being abused, right, does not turn around to the person who's abusing her and say, "Suck my dick." Okay, right? If you heard, right, the absolute, right, abuse, right, that was coming out of this woman's mouth towards Johnny Depp, right, was just it's second to none. And there's no way, right, that an abused woman, right, would speak to her abuser in that way. No way. Absolutely. Because you know what? She would have been murdered. If he was an abuser, the way how I've heard her speaking to him, she would have been murdered. There's no doubting. There's no doubt. Because, you know, she demasculated him on a regular basis. I'm talking about on a daily basis. This woman was at him. Do you know what I mean? Just really just going at him. Proper going at him. And there's no way that a man would want his wife, right, to be doing that to him every single day. I mean, this was horrendous. I mean, this was absolutely... I don't understand how the courts over in this country, yeah, managed to find in her favour. I don't know if they heard any of these recordings, but if they did, right, you know, there must be something wrong with the people who judged the case, because I'm telling you, this man was seriously getting abused, right? And you know, I believe that she got married to him and she convinced him not to sign a prenup, yeah, you know, and then obviously it looked like to be honest, she looks like she was just in it for the money and to further her career, right? And she because if you hear the way how she speaks to him, right, there's just absolutely no way that she's an abused woman. If she's an abused woman, right, then I'm really surprised. I'm shocked if she's an abused woman, because just in the nature, right, of how she was allowed to speak to him, and you could hear him there. You know, a lot of men, yeah, can be very, they can be very, very tough around other men, but when it comes to women, they're very, very weak, right? They're very, very soft, right? And they would never ever hit their missus or anything like that, right? You know. Abusers don't act like that. Abusers don't act in that way. They would never allow, right, a woman to humiliate them in their own home, right, in front of like chauffeurs and all these type of things. They would never ever, right? You couldn't be an abused woman and get away with that, because you would know when you get home, right, that you are going to get battered. You would know that, right? So, I just started very, very shocked. And staying in America, America's supposed to be like a unique and exceptional place, right? But you've got people like Tucker Carlson and Donald Trump, yeah, praising like Hungary, like, Viktor Orban, virtually saying that they would like America to be like Hungary. It's virtually he's an authoritarian ruler. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, I don't think, yeah, that I don't think, right, that poor and working class white Americans realise, yeah, that they would be, in an authoritarian regime, right? They might be thinking, well, we're going to make things bad for the blacks and the brown people and, and the Jews. And I don't think that they realise that they will be a target, right, for your people like Tucker Carlson and your Donald Trump. Right, Donald Trump doesn't want to hang out with his support. Donald Trump doesn't want to hang out with his supporters. Donald Trump would prefer to hang out with AOC and that lot. Right? Donald Trump would much prefer to hang out with the woke lot. Why do you think he wants? Why do you think he wants to be on Twitter and places like this? Donald Trump would much prefer to be liked by the left. He hates the people from the right. He hates those yeehaws who think that Donald Trump loves them. He can't stand those type of people. He can't stand them at all. Right? And it just amazes me how they don't actually realise this. And they're supposed to be, as I said, they're supposed to be, a unique and exceptional place because of how America was structured. It was structured around them being immigrants all brought together. That's how it was structured, right? But for some reason, they want to take it down. They want to take it down a complete different line because they believe in this replacement theory, right? They believe, and so they're saying, well, they think that Jewish people want to replace native-born Americans. But haven't Native Americans already been replaced by you? And is that not the reason why you're getting so annoyed, right? You seem to be getting so annoyed, right, about this replacement, because that's who you are. Colonialists who go and replace people. And you can't get past the fact that not everyone is like you. You can't get past that. So you accuse black people, you accuse Jews, you accuse Mexicans, you accuse, Asians of trying to replace you. It's really wacky, it's just really wacky behaviour. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I think that, the Native Americans probably made you people drink too much firewater, right, in your past, right? I said this the other day, it's the same as the whip hand. It suggests that we're like you. We are not animals. Only animals keep people in slavery. We are not animals. Not like you. You are animals. Yeah, you are evil, right? You kept people in slavery, right? And now you're so ashamed of it, right, that you have to try and project your shame onto others. Sickening behaviour. Just sickening behaviour, right? America is supposed to be unique and exceptional because of the way how it was put together. After 13 years and £20 billion, the breadline is finally open today. That's the Elizabeth line, but we should all call it the breadline because we are all facing the breadline. Unless, right, you are a Brexiter you are a Brexiter, right, and because that will make you a wealthy Tory. Are you a Brexiter that's a wealthy Tory? Probably not, right? You're probably a Brexiter who thought to himself, you know what, yeah, we want to get rid of all those brown and black people, and then we can get on, right, with this country and turn it into Little England. We've done it already. So yeah, so open. I mean, so I think it's 4 or 6 billion pounds over budget and 5 or 6 years late. You know how we do when we build stuff, right? We build stuff to last, so it lasts a long time when we build. Takes us a long time to build. The police say they're not racist anymore. No, the police said they are racist, right? But they want to be institutionally anti-racist. We're still having this discussion, right? After all these years, we're still having this same damn discussion, right? There is one way, right? You could just, just stop being racist. That would be the easiest thing to do. That would be the easiest way around it. if you just stop being racist. But I think that, I think that in another 10, 20, 30 years, this same conversation will still be going on. Still be going on, the same conversation. Do you know what I mean? I don't think there'll be much change. Still the same thing. A Tory MP has been jailed for sexual assault of a 15-year-old boy. And once, there was a ship full of Tories, and they said to the captain, "Captain, each of us should have a boy." I don't know where these bad jokes come from sometimes. So yeah, a Tory MP, right, has been jailed, right, for 18 months, right, yesterday, right, for the assault of I think it was 14 or 15 years ago that he done the assault on the 15-year-old child who was then 15 at the time. Obviously, his mum was 28, 29, 30 now, right? But I always try and tell, right, black and brown conservatives, right, although, right, you might think you're a conservative, right, you don't get white privilege. I'll explain the whole white privilege thing in a minute, because I know I have to do this. I know I'm going to have to do it again. But let's just go with this for the minute, right? This guy, right, this Asian, right, he believed in his mind, right, that he could get some type of privilege, right, because he's a Tory. That's what he believed in his mind, right? Because you know what? He's seen colleague after colleague, right, when it comes down to it, right, get away with all this type of thing. He looked at people like Greville Jenner and they said, we're going to allow that motherfucker to die, right, before, right, we'd come out and tell the world, oh no, this man was a motherfucking abuser, right, before, right. You look at Jimmy Savile. If you can't tell me, right, that the police didn't know all these things about Jimmy Savile, right, before his death, right, then you're a fucking idiot, right, because they knew everything about Jimmy Savile long before the man died, right? Who was it? I think it was John Lydon, Johnny Rotten, who said on the BBC that, and they banned him from the BBC in I think the 1970s. Right, or might be the early 80s, but it was a long time ago, right? So they knew, right? But this Asian Tory politician believed in his mind, right? And I say, well, because you're a Tory, yeah, white privilege don't extend over to you. You might think, do you know what I mean? It might look like that, right? But if you look at how many, right, Tory politicians, right, have been accused over the years, right, and the majority of them, right, have got off. I mean, one or two of them have gone to court, and one or two of them have gone to prison. But the minute, right, the Muslim guy's name come up, there's like, he can go prison for that motherfucker. We'll send him and make it look as if to say, you know what, we're cleaning up the House of Parliament. Cleaning up shit, right? There's 50, 60 of them, right, who have got faces, charges to face or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And they're dragging their feet. They drag their feet with Boris Johnson off the whole party game. All them things there, right? And this guy, he really thought that he was in. He thought he was in. Right? I always tell black and Asian police officers the same thing. Don't think that you can do what your white colleagues can do, because the minute you do, yeah, they're gonna put you in the motherfucking cells, because that's what they're always waiting to do. Trust me on this. I tell them all the time, right? But a lot of them, right, their head is hardened, and they still, right, want to go and join the Tories, right? I want to see much more black and Asian police officers on the road, right? I want to see a lot more of them, because I've never been stopped and searched by a black police officer. So, so for me, it would be a bonus. If police officers, if I've got police officers looking at me as if I'm just a normal person, that would be a bonus for me. But anyway, I'm just going to have to quickly touch on the whole white privilege, because I know people are going to be, we ain't got no fucking white privilege, you fucking dare ya. Listen, working class white people, yeah, you guys are niggers. You don't get white privilege, okay? The only white privilege you get, right, is you don't get harassed by the police. That's your white privilege, okay? The further up the chain you go is the more white privilege you get. The further up you go, right? So when you're talking about like Tory MPs and people like that, yeah, they get really good white privilege. Boris Johnson, as you can see, he's got the ultimate, along with Donald Trump, he's got the ultimate, right, in white privilege, right? But as I said, right, you know, your working class and your poor white people, you guys are niggers, just like me. So don't worry about it. I mean, just enjoy, you know, the reggae music and your love for chicken. Be great. So don't worry about it, right? But that's what you got to understand, right? So when they say white privilege, right, the upper classes use that. They use that against people like me. So, oh look, they're saying that you got white privilege. They look at them, they say you got white privilege. And look at you, right? Look at you outside the fucking KFC begging for food. What white privilege you got? That's what they're saying. This is what they're saying to you. They play you like this, and they're very smart with it. They're very clever minds. They're playing you with it, right? But deep down, they know, right, that you're black, just like me, right? Gives you a bigger penis, and ladies, gives you a firmer backside. Okay, so just embrace it. That's what you should do. Just embrace it. Right? Don't worry about it. Don't watch it. Right? Being black is okay. Kind of good. Right? Makes you stand out. Okay, right? But trust me, that's how they think about you guys. Right? That's how they think about you guys, and they can play that white privilege. Yeah, you got white privilege, and you think to yourself, I'm going to a fucking food bank. What fucking white privilege have I got? Exactly. So, you know, if you know, the white privilege you get, as I said, is from the police. If you are not a criminal, you don't get no police interaction as a white person. If you're not a criminal, right? White criminals get as much police interaction as I do. Right? You know, because the police naturally look at people who look like me as criminals. They just naturally do that. It's natural for them. So, you know, and if a white guy's a criminal or a white girl's a criminal, that's how the police deal with them. They deal with them like they're black. Simple, you know. Boris Johnson, right, the lying motherfucking cheating thief, right, asked Sue Gray, right, to lose the Sue Gray report. Sue Gray was like, I'm going to lose the Sue Gray report. That's all I got. It's a Sue Gray report. Everyone knows me for the Sue Gray report. Boris Johnson was like, nah, don't worry about that. Lose that. The police already investigated it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you see how corrupt this man is. That's why he called her up in the office, because you know, Boris Johnson's spokesman said, we didn't call the meeting with Sue Gray, and Sue Gray's people, because you know Sue Gray's got people. Sue Gray's people said, well, we didn't call the meeting with Boris Johnson. Right, and it come out yesterday that down the street said, oh, actually, you know, stupid us. We just, you know, we got caught up in the moment. We called a meeting with Sue Gray. Yeah, okay. We knew that from the beginning. And then Boris Johnson tried to get her to ditch the report because he knew that the Sue Gray report was coming out with pictures. Obviously, a couple of the pictures have emerged today, right? But he knew it was coming out with pictures. Right? So now, right, this is I want Sue Gray to, why don't you ditch the report? Get rid of it. No one needs to see it. All right. Sue Gray's like, you know that the people who you've dealt with before, right, might think that you're like a greased piglet, like David Cameron said, but I don't believe in that. I believe throwing you down in the sand so I can keep hold of you, you greasy little motherfucker. That's what Sue Gray said, I think. She said, nah, that's not going to happen. And it seems that Boris Johnson, right, gave the order, right, to prioritize animals over humans in the evacuation of Afghanistan. Right, so it seems like Boris Johnson sent the order, but after he said, no, nothing's doing me, Gov. Don't know nothing about it. It seems like Boris Johnson sent the order. Do you know what I mean? But already, we feel very disappointed that, that they brought back, cats and dogs over brown people. I mean, I know that really the English way is that, cats and dogs are more important than black and brown people, but, I mean, we can all still be quite disgusted. I mean, I'm just completely disgusted by this. Not with Penn Farthing or the charity because he had this, he had seats there, and I'm quite sure that he would have filled those seats if he could have. I'm quite sure he would have. Right, but that's come down from the government saying, you know what, don't worry about it. Take the plane off with just cats and dogs and Penn Farthing on it. Don't worry about anybody else. Right, the staff had to, a lot of those staff had to make their way to Pakistan as quick as you like. They had to turn their heels and dust out to Pakistan, because you know what? Other than that, they would have been murdered by the Taliban, left, right, in the whole famine situation where, we'll say, oh, for those Afghanis, right, we have plenty of bombs and bullets, right. We even have, right, rockets, right, from jet fighters, or rockets, right, from an Apache helicopter. We have all those for them. Help them get out of famine? No way. We don't help brown people get out of famine. All we've got for black and brown people, is guns, right, bullets, bombs, right, and all sorts of nasty stuff, so we can murder as much of them as possible, while we're telling people how humanitarian we are for sending weapons into the Ukraine, while committing war crimes, sending weapons to... Hold on. We're committing war crimes, sending weapons to Saudi Arabia so they can bomb the hell out of the Yemen. I suppose. Are we giving the Yemenis aid? Because that would be Yemen aid. We are one ridiculous country. A country full of people who love to murder brown and black people. That's the way it seems. Mary Lou McDonald was on GMB this morning and called England a great nation. Can you believe that? The head of Sinn Fein calling England a great nation. Right, that just shows you how far Ireland has come, because I can't recall seeing the head of Sinn Fein over here on GMB. Right? It just shows you how much damage that the DUP have done to themselves. The DUP have seriously slaughtered themselves in this whole situation. For going along with Boris Johnson's Brexit. The DUP. What they've done is they've do you know what a quarter tip is? Right? A quarter tip, right? A quarter tip, right, is your heel. When you're wearing a good heel, right, a man's shoe, wearing a good heel, right, and someone's standing behind you, and you just pull your foot back and just thunk, and kick them right in the shin. Quarter tip, right? And that, right, is what the DUP, right, done to themselves. They gave themselves a quarter tip, right? Because these people are stupid. These are some thick idiots, right? They're really, really stupid, right? Because now, right, if you see how Mary Lou McDonald is over here, right, and people are going to look at this Sinn Fein politician and say, whoa, you're telling me these people was former IRA? These are very decent people. Because because remember how much Ireland has changed. Ireland has changed so much. It's a much more progressive nation, right, than England is. It's much more progressive Ireland is than England is. England seems to be. It seems like it's gone 50 years behind Ireland with the way how things are. And so I think the thing that was good, for Ireland and Northern Ireland was Boris Johnson getting in power, as the same with Scotland. Do you know what I mean? Because the minute right, the Ireland gets to reunify, that's it. Scots are out of here. Look at me, I'm really well far in, and I've still got a couple of stories to go. Right, pencil neck Tin Lizzie Trust has told Biden to piss off. She said, "Oi, you Biden, you can fuck off. Right? Don't you dare tell me what to do." And Biden said, "Here's the deal." I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Now, obviously, we have to wait until the response from the US, because obviously they're going to have to respond, because they are very much involved in the Good Friday Agreement. Because I don't know, it seems like the Conservatives don't know about the Irish lobby within the American government. It seems like they don't know how strong that really is, right? And now all of a sudden they said, well, this administration, they hate Britain. So, you know something, right? You people, right, went and put yourself in all this bullshit, right? As the Jamaicans would say, you end up in a bushel. Just work out later, right? That's what, right? You put yourself in that, right? And now everybody else is to blame. The Americans are to blame, right? Sinn Fein are to blame. Right, and the people who are to blame, right, is England and the DUP, right, for being a big bunch of idiots, right. From a long time ago, right, you had Ian Paisley, right, was really good friends with either Jerry Adams or Martin McGuinness, one of the two of them. Really good friends with them. They just called them Chuckle Brothers. Right, after you see them two, right, would have beat each other to death with a Kalashnikov rather than shoot each other, right, years before, they got to know each other properly, right, and the DUP, right, they want to still keep up, right, what it was like, right, back in the 70s and the 80s. Give me a fucking break, man. Seriously, right, these people got a fucking screw loose. A disaster relief charity has been brought in to help drivers queuing at Dover. This is not even funny, because this is my country. A disaster relief charity has been brought in to help the drivers at Dover. Queuing. Disaster relief charity. Dover. Help the drivers. I'm not going to say no more about that, because the next story is even funny. Nigel Farage has slammed Boris Johnson. Sorry. Nigel Farage has slammed Boris Johnson as the immigration figures have risen. I can't because I'm not going to be able to breathe if I do anything about that story. Right, so let's move on from there. The head of the NatWest, Sir Howard Davis, says Brexit is a Nigel Farage Nigel Farage has slammed Boris Johnson because the immigration numbers have risen. We can't say what can we really say about that? We can't say anything about that. Listen, I've gone so far over my time, and this is not even funny. Isn't Brexit the gift that keeps on giving? I just need to say this last thing. The head of the NatWest Bank, Sir Howard Davis, says Brexit is a major mistake. I've got through it all, right? And thank you, right? But all of this is down to you racist fools, right? And you stupid asses who followed those racist fools. Because not everybody who voted for Brexit was racist, but you're all fucking idiots. That's one thing for certain. Anyway, guys, look, I've got so far over my time, and I've got to get the hell out of here. This is By Any Means Necessary. I'm GMC John Ribs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.